Hey guys, so I want to show you something really cool that I learned last night. And this video, I'm just saying this because I'm putting this on YouTube. I'm making this video primarily for my team. If you are looking for a tutorial on SRT files, this is like the most amateur tutorial that you're ever going to find. So I can't promise that this is the best one out there. Definitely not comprehensive or complete because I just learned about this yesterday. But I am going to put it up on YouTube because I make these tools available to my team and to other coaches who might be struggling with the same thing that are part of our network. So what I had done was I had this video, basically a talking head video. I recorded myself talking in my office so that I could make a video ad to put on Facebook to promote a webinar that I have coming up about the Beachbody coaching opportunity and the fact that it's coming to the UK. So I have a list or an audience that I made in Facebook Ads Manager with certain criteria that I'm targeting. And I'm presenting this ad to that audience, put some budget behind it. Facebook ads is a separate topic, but for videos on Facebook, I had noticed, a lot of times when I'm scrolling, I mostly have the ringer set to silent on my phone because I don't want the audio to automatically start playing as I'm scrolling. So then what happens instead is if it's on silent, you get captions that are showing up and you can read the whole video without listening to it. And I don't know, I like to read things. I just find it more enjoyable. So I'm thinking if I can reach people that way, that's going to add another dimension to my video. And I honestly didn't know how much work this was going to be. I'm not sure if I even would have done the video ad had I known, but the ad also didn't do that well. So that was a learning experience for me too. Split testing is really important and some ads are going to do better than others. But all in all, I'm glad that I tried it. I learned something. I'm glad that I tried this whole transcript thing because I'm going to tell you what I learned. So over here in this Word document on the right of my screen, you see basically the text of my video. So once I had made the video, I pretty much just ad-libbed it. I had some really minimal notes. And then I do have a virtual assistant, but you also can shop this out on Upwork just as a one-time job, and you can just put it up and have people bid on it, and transcription is not very expensive. So what my assistant did was she went through my video and just typed out what I was saying. And that's what you see in the Microsoft Word document on the right. Now for YouTube, this is completely sufficient. It has sophisticated detection software that if I upload this file, it will match the words to the time in the video. It has speech recognition and it gets close enough that it can then match this exact script to, where the words are falling in the video so that, if someone is listening to the audio and then they decide to turn on the captions, that they're actually seeing the right words on the screen at the same time that they're listening. So that's very useful. And I thought that that was all that I would need in Facebook. But it turns out that's not so. So, I had seen before when I have done video ads that there was the option to add captions. I tried it once before and Facebook has an auto caption option. Again, speech recognition. I would not recommend that. There were so many errors. It was just really comical, actually, because I feel like when I make videos, I try to speak slowly and clearly. And it just messed up a lot of words to the point that it was basically unintelligible. So there is an option for speech recognition, and then you can go in and review the auto-generated captions. But I feel like I could get it much more accurate and spend less time correcting things by just having this transcript made. So that was what I did. But then I realized there was another step. So if you go in you're uploading your Facebook ad and, you know, doing everything else in Ads Manager or in the Power Editor, then you get to the point where your whole video has been uploaded and it gives you the option to add captions or to proceed without captions. So then when you click to add captions, you need to have a specific file format, and that is what I'm going to tell you about here. Long intro to this video, I know, but I kind of want to explain to you how I got here and why I even care about this. So the file format that it wants is called .srt. I don't know what it stands for. Something to do with transcript, I'm pretty sure. So I did a little bit of Googling, find out what is an SRT file. It's basically a text file that has this very specific format. So if you have ever worked with plain text or rich text files, it's similar to that. Apps like Notepad, what's this one even called? Text Edit, Basic Editor. So for example, let me just see if this works. So if I take this Word document, I can save it as plain text and I would lose all the formatting. So that's what I did as my first step. I'll show you that. So I do File and then Save As. Then I can pick either plain text or rich text, RTF. Either one of those two, it's going to save basically only the text and none of the formatting. Like if this Word document has all of this information about line spacing and font color and typeface. So all of that is lost, and it's basically this plain text that you see over here with no fancy formatting. I mean, there are other differences here that I'm going to talk about, but the difference between the text, this is basically what it would look like. All of this text, but more in this format. Hopefully you can see my mouse. So if I go and I just say save, it just is going to give me a warning. That's what I want to show you. No, I don't want to replace it. Plain text. Oh, because I did save it once before like that. Okay. So that was my, I just want to show you. Well, shoot, it didn't give me the warning. Oh, yes, it did. Okay, here we are. It just took a second. Okay, so first I have to pick which, even though it's plain text, which format. And then when I click OK, so it actually marks the text that it's not going to save correctly. I don't know. I don't pay attention to that. It's just, this is the whole thing that I wanted to show you. It's just going to tell you that you're going to lose your formatting. So that was my whole point. I'm not going to do it because I don't want to save another copy. But my whole point was, as you're stripping out the formatting, basically you're getting the file down to a very simple format so that this caption generating program can read it. If it were to get this plain Word document with all of this formatting that's in the background here, it wouldn't know what to do with that. So that's the reason that you first save it as plain text. That's step one. So then what I would do is, you know, when it exists as a text file, let me see what I still have here, if there's one of these, because I saved different versions as I was going along. Okay, so I first cleaned it up, then I put in the seconds timing, and then I saved it as this SRT format with a different name. So this is probably just the same or almost the same. I kept finding more little like mistakes and formatting things as I went through and fixing them. Okay, but see how, okay, this one here has the SRT extension. This one does not. So this is a plain text file. This is the one that I was working in. And what I did was, so I had the video playing in QuickTime, or, you know, if you have it on YouTube, you can preview it. There's a bunch of different programs you can play your video in. And you can see the timestamp as you're going. So that's what all of this information is. So when I Googled and I found the format for an SRT file, basically it's almost like slides that go along with the video. The captions are like slides appearing on the screen. That's the way to think about it. So if you see here, slide number 1. Oh my gosh, I didn't mean to do that. Hold on. Slide number 1. This is the text for slide number 1. This is the timestamp. Now, I don't think I did this completely correctly, because what I had before, I had 1 second to 3 seconds, and I was just keeping it like I had seen in, the instructions, that there were these fractions of a second. So if you look at a timestamp, like on any digital video, this is hours, this is minutes, this is seconds, and then this is fractions of a second. But I was like, I don't need that. I'm just going to leave it out. So what I initially had all the way down for all 120 slides was just this part, without the comma 000 afterwards. Well, that didn't work. The SRT file needs to be in this exact format, I think, because when I tried to upload the first version, Facebook still couldn't read it. So then I had to go in and paste the comma 000 to say it's, right on that 1 second mark. I had to paste that times 120 slides times twice for each slide, copy and paste. So that took a while. And at that point, I was just eager to get it done. But what I would do instead is, because you see here, so, hi there, my name is Elizabeth Goodrice. That's showing from the 1 second mark to the 3 second mark where it disappears. The next one doesn't show up until the 4 second mark. So there's probably some best practice out there. But what I would probably do instead, if I were, if I had known this from the start, was, I was so tired by the time I was doing this, just want to do it fast. But I would do it from 1 second to 3.5. And then there's just a little break, but not a full second. Then 4 seconds to 6.5. Something like that. It's just a suggestion. I don't know what the best practices are, but you want to give people more time to read your text and less time with a blank screen, essentially. So you could probably, I don't know what increments these go in. If you can go to 999 or if it's just like 975, or who knows? I don't know. So that's why I would, think about going with a half second just to be sure. Maybe you can put any number you want there, but that's kind of the next thing that I would try. But in all honesty, what I would do next time is just have someone else do this. So I'm going to share this video with my lovely assistant also, so she can see this, but there's probably better tutorials out there about how this works, making an SRT file. But if I do this type of ad again, I know there's somebody out there who is much faster at this and understands it better than me, and that's why I use Upwork for tasks like this, because there are people who just do the same thing over and over, and the price is lower than whatever your time is worth that you would spend on it, because they're really fast at it, because they're experienced. So I'm telling you this because I think it's kind of nice to look under the hood and understand, like, when you see those captions on Facebook, what is the file that is generating that? It's exactly this. It's exactly what you're looking at. And I think it's pretty cool to understand that. But it doesn't mean you have to do it yourself every time. If you want to learn to do it yourself, you'll save some money. But what else could you be doing with that time to earn money? That's something to keep in mind. And that's what I always keep in mind when I'm evaluating what services to pay for versus what to do myself. But I always love to learn, so that's why I did this myself, at least the first time. So what else? Okay, so I just want to make sure that I go over. So, this is slide number 1, timestamp that it's displayed, beginning and end, from when it appears to when it disappears. And this is what the text says. And then slide number 2, all the way down to... oh, it's even more than I thought. 141 slides. So just over the 7-minute mark was this video. Probably too long also for a video ad. So maybe I'll try a shorter video and just give it one more shot. But it's better to experiment and just take a chance and not have it be perfect than to never try at all. Okay, so once I had this file exactly right, then I had to do one last step and change the file extension and also add the language, which I'll tell you about in a second. But I just want to emphasize also, like, look how consistent all of this formatting is. Like, if I got one of these numbers wrong, or if I, forgot one of the spaces. I don't know if that would mess the whole thing up if it's like HTML where like you have one wrong character and like your whole web page can disappear. So, you know, that's another argument in favor of having someone else do this who's very detail oriented and has done this a lot. I mean, maybe they have templates. Look at this. So, and this was in what actually, I'm not sure if it's in what I uploaded. I might have changed it. But so when I brought this over, when I saved it as plain text, the apostrophes didn't convert. They came out as question marks. So I fixed a bunch of these last night. I might have gotten them in the other version of the file. But so that's another thing where if someone else is doing it and they know what to look out for, maybe they know how to convert it to plain text without having that happen. I don't know. I would have to go through and fix those all individually. But so the precision, see, look, there's a mistake here. So instead of Control V, so I don't know if this was even working. It accepted the file, but there was a mistake. So I don't know what that means. If they're showing up, if they're not showing up. But so then once you, in theory, have your file that's all just perfect and ready to go, which slide was that? 22. Let me just see. Yeah, oh, look, there's a mistake, 21. Once I had my file that was almost perfect, then I saved it, and then I closed it. That's funny, it didn't ask me to confirm the changes and save. So, and then, so the last step was to change the file extension, and on a Mac at least, when you just retype it, it doesn't work. It was giving me, it was showing .srt, but when I tried to open it, it was like .srt, .txt after it, so it was still detecting that it was a text file. What I had to do was, I'll show you with one that's different. So right click on it, then click Get Info. And then, oh, okay. So this would normally be closed and you have to click to open and see it. And instead of TXT, right here, I'm going to do SRT. Okay. And then I close that and I confirm and it updates. So then, and this was something I found just through Googling also, each language has a code, and Facebook won't let you upload the transcript unless you specify what language it is. So US English is EN _ capital U capital S. And once you specified, so it needs this very specific format, then it would let me upload it. But again, you know, there was a mistake in the file, so I don't really know how it worked, actually. But that was my lesson in transcripts and how it works for Facebook, at least right now, and kind of if you need to hire someone to do this, what is involved in the work that they're doing. And then when you get that SRT file back, you can review it and make sure that it's accurate. So it's important to know, I think, when you're hiring something out, it's important to know how to do it so that you can evaluate the work that you receive back. Like, I need to know that there's no mistakes in that file before I try to upload it, and I wouldn't have known what to look for if I hadn't done it once myself. So that is my kind of specific lesson and more general lesson. I hope this was helpful. Reach out to me if you have any questions. Thanks for watching, guys.